but hopefully not that late. Hi, hello, hi. What's good, everybody? It's your boy Mark Summers, Major Linux. Wait, no, this is Twitch. Twitch.tv slash Major Linux, and of course over on YouTube.com slash Major Linux 2. That's right, it's time for the Major Linux show. This is the second time I've sat here in less than 24 hours to do something, and it's great. It's fun. It's fantastic. I love being here. I miss being here. Of course, I'm referring to this week in Game Pass. Inaugural episode just went live earlier today. I meant to record it yesterday, but yeah, things happened. I got really busy and it was meeting after meeting after meeting. So I didn't really get to record the episode until after like midnight today. So yeah, hey, first episode is up. Really excited. I'm hoping that, that can be a very, very good series. But of course, I am here not only to promote that video. Of course, it's something that I decided I want to do to kind of help take some of the load off of Tech Talk Thursdays, even though that video wouldn't do it as much as the stream I'm doing now is going to do for Tech Talk Thursdays. Because as you may or may not be aware, oh wait, people may not be aware. I forgot to tweet it. Let me do that real quick. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. And I'm live right now. And just put the link up there anyway. Again, we'll just put it up there again. Get it twice, and a quote retweet and in the original, because that's just who I am. All right. Where am I? I was looking for something and I can't find. Okay, there it is. That's one thing I'm looking for. Boom and boom. Okay. Probably. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, let's go ahead and move these off. I'm sorry. I'm doing some stuff in the background. Don't mind me. All right. There we go. Put them together and yeah, let's pop all this stuff out. Pop it out, pop it out, pop it out. So this is what happens when you don't get the rest you need. You just pass out on the couch. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna lay down here and we'll be okay. We'll be fine. Everything will be a-okay. And then, yeah, next thing you know, you're just out. Yeah, so the thing I am doing here today, of course, if you aren't aware of what happened today, Apple had their big September event. They announced the new iPhones, the new Apple Watch, new AirPods, and some features that are specific to those devices. Of course, we've already had the iOS, iPadOS event, the macOS event, where they announced new features coming to all devices that will get those updates back in June. But of course, with the hardware event, that's when you hear the even newer features that are coming to the software, because they are hardware specific. Because of course you have to have something in software to, sell you the phone, right? So what I am going to be doing here is covering some of the news that dropped today. So let's get right into it, shall we? Again, this should hopefully alleviate some of. Okay, the fucking gnats in here again. Alleviate some of the issues that's going. Or at least, words. it should hopefully alleviate a lot of the sorry, I just now noticed something else is missing. Oh, there it is. Hooray for me. No. Well, maybe. I just moved. Oh, that's because LG was already here. That's why. Okay, I found it. That's why it was easy to add, because it was already there. This should help at least alleviate some time constraints that we have on Tech Talk Thursdays, because yes, if I spent all that time talking about an Apple event during an episode of Tech Talk Thursdays, we'd be here forever. So hey, why not tackle that now, which is what we'll do. So yes, of course, as I said, Apple September 2020 event happened earlier today. It's far out. Not well. Okay. They tend to relate a little bit, right? Like the naming of their events tend to relate to some of the stuff they talk about. Let's see. I mean, let's bridge some things here. Far out, like, so they talked about they announced the Apple Watch Ultra, take that far and wide, way out there into the space. Do all your rugged shit. And of course, satellite connectivity is coming to the iPhone. So, without any further ado, let's see how far out Apple got with these announcements, as I will continue the emails. Excuse me while I close Thunderbird. And okay, I thought I closed Thunderbird, yet an application came through. Is Thunderbird running in the background? How can I tell? I don't think it is. Or it shouldn't. I wish it wasn't. Please stop. Don't do that. Yeah, so let's get into it. First off, well, you know what? Hey, should I do it in order? Well, okay, let's not. All right, so the iPhone 14 gets a revived Plus model with a bigger size. Of course, we're talking about the iPhone 14, coming in with an A15 chip, the A15 Bionic. They are being launched with 6.1 inch iPhone 14 and the 6.7 inch iPhone 14 Plus. So now if you want just the basic specs, if you just want the basic iPhone, but you wanted it bigger because for some reason people want big giant phablet fucking phones, you can now do that with the 14 Plus. Honestly, like this is the device that, I feel like most people should get. They shouldn't have to go for the Plus model. And I guess with them, or not with the Plus, but with the Pro models, and with them adding the Plus version of the iPhone 14, it kind of allows people to stay within the basic model without having to step into that Pro just to get the bigger size screen. So, I mean, it's good on Apple for that. Let's see here. I have some notes because I was very studious today. I took some notes. How do I get to my notes? Well, that's me creating a new one. I don't want a new one. I love how it's telling me that it's just the title, but it does not give me the text that I wrote. And see, this is what happens when using pre-release software. Things are broken. Oh, yep, there we go. All right, so yeah, it's got some notes here. Hope that's for the Pro. Let's scroll back down. Of course, you can see with the Apple 14, it does still have the notch. They are not getting rid of that. Of course, a lot of the rumors that you heard about the 14 Pros, they're pretty much true. It's a thing where it's like, please, it's almost like when they announced the new Apple Watches and everybody who was saying that, oh, we're going to get the flat screen Apple Watch this year, in 2021. they all like it just kind of fell flat. None of that happened. They announced the new Apple Watch Series 7, and it was of course rounded. It was a rounded screen. It was like, yeah, y'all failed. You failed. It's that thing too. It's like, okay, leakers are so damn good now. It's like, please, I'm actually now cheering for you all to fail. Because I want to be able to go into an event and not hear anything. But pretty much everything that people talked about, most of the things that people were predicting or were saying was coming out all through all the leaks and shit, were fucking right. And that's, it bums me out a bit. Because like now, like I look for, it's almost like instead of me creating the notes here, I could just like, all right, here are all the leaks that I heard. Now let's check them off. And I wish I'd actually did that now. That might be something I'll do for next year. When I start hearing the leaks, make the list is all right. We're going to start checking them off, check them off, check them off, check them off. I actually want to go through and find one of the articles that what you probably won't hear at an Apple event is see how much they got it right or wrong. So, actually we did hear this. Of course, coming in 5 colors. Let's see if we can get that here. I think I do have, nope. Yep, that's it. 5 colors here. Of course, this is coming from The Verge again. Got red, this light purplish color. I think this is Starlight. I don't know. They're starting to go the Google route and naming their devices, which is weird. Naming their device colors, which is weird. Yeah, I don't know what color that is. Is it live yet? Do they have it fucking live yet on the Apple Store? I'm actually curious. Yeah, I don't want to watch the event right now. Let's see. What do you iPhone 14, what are your colors? Okay. There we go. So let's pick a model here, 14-inch. Okay, so yeah, we got blue, we got purple, midnight, which is like it's the black, starlight, which I was right. Yeah, the white one is kind of starlight, where it's like a faded gold. I don't know, like it looks white, but it looks white here. It's like a faded gold almost, and Project Red. Of course, it's using A15 Bionic, 5-core CPU, or 5-core GPU, 6-core CPU with 2 high-performance cores, 4 high-efficiency cores, 12 megapixel cameras on so everything's 12 megapixel, 2 back cameras, even the true depth camera up front, 12 megapixel. Everything's good there for you. They actually have the sensitive OIS, which give you better image stabilization on all cameras. So now they're bringing this stuff from the Pro models into the regular iPhone models. Also better low light performance. Fast front-facing autofocus now with the better cameras. eSIM support only in these models. And it's something you can actually kind of see in this image here. Where, yeah, if you look here on the side, there's nowhere to put a SIM. So, of course, like with me, I have the iPhone 12 Pro. If you know, like, so, well, that's like the SIM's right there. So, no, that's actually for the 5G antenna. My iPhone 12 Pro has the same thing on it. Let's see, I'm going to bring this back up. See if we take a look there. Actually, it's very, very dark, so you probably can't see it. Oh, nope. Jeez, this is hard. Why is this so difficult to do? Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, there's the 5G antenna area here. Of course, when I turn it around, and yes, fingerprint fucking magnet. Look at that. That's just gross. That is gross. Well, let's see. Turn it, and I can't really get it to focus, but oh, there we go. Ooh, yeah, fingernails are a little long too. I need to clip those. But you can see there's yep, there it is, the SIM tray. You can barely see it. But yeah, it's a SIM tray like right here. There we go. Where the hole cutout is. As you can see here in these images, though, that doesn't exist on the other side. So you can, again, you can see the 5G antenna here, but you do not see the SIM tray right here. So, they are so confident in eSIM. They're showing courage once again in removing physical SIMs from the devices, so you can activate over. So of course, like I think like every cell phone provider, at least in the I assume every provider in the US now, would have to do this, or they do eSIMs, because all of the US models that are being shipped to the US do not have SIM trays. You can get an iPhone with a SIM tray, but you will not be able to get them in the US. So there's that. They actually highlighted during the event how easy it's going to be able to move your phone from one carrier to another without having to get a SIM sent out. It was one thing where I tried to do that with Visible for my Galaxy S22 Plus. It was a whole thing. Like, actually, when I changed, and it was so weird with Visible so for those who don't know, Visible had changed their planning. For those who use Visible, it's an MVNO of Verizon. Actually, I think it's just owned by Verizon. They have like, I forget, it's like $50 a month or something like that for the service, but you can do like this little party plan. You know, like you get so many people sign up for this party or whatever, and it will bring your bill down to $25. Well, they decided to get rid of that party thing, but then just bring the bill down to $30 a month for unlimited everything. But in order to do that, they had to send you a new SIM. I was like, this seems crazy. Why would you do this? Like, I can change my plan on on Verizon without having to get a new SIM. Why do you need to send me a new SIM to do that? It's weird. It's a thing. There could be some other hokey pokey shit with that. I don't know. But it's good that, you know, now if I had an iPhone over there, or if I bought a new iPhone, put it on there, and they were trying to do this after these phones came out, it'd have been just like, all right, look, just update the eSIM or something. Do whatever you need to do. Please don't ship me things. Yeah, they like overnighted me a SIM card, which was really weird. Let's see here. What else do we have here? So they've added crash detection into these new phones. Again, these will only be available in the iPhones and in the new Apple Watches, because they now have new sensors that can detect barometric pressure, acceleration, or acceleration as in like rapid deceleration, and using the microphone to detect if there's like noise of a crash that's happening. There's satellite connectivity. Is powered by Global Star or something like that. Not necessarily to make phone calls with, but to be able to send emergency messages out to somebody, say, hey, I am in trouble, I need help. And being able to do that when you have little to no cell phone signal. There are still probably places, even in the US, that don't have that cell phone signal, to where this would be a very, very useful tool. But it will not help little Becky, who wants to talk to Jenny and all of her friends back home when Becky is stuck at grandma's house with no cell phone signal or Wi-Fi. I think it is only available in the US and Canada. Where is it? Okay, so nothing in here. Yeah, so nothing in here about it. I had an article for the satellite stuff, but I think I took it out. So here's actually some more information though. It's also possible to use the Find My app to share location without sending a message. Okay. And it's free for 2 years with iPhone 14 models. So apparently you still have to pay to continue to use the satellite service to send an emergency messaging, which seems weird. If I am in an emergency, why am I having to pay to send emergency messages? That's like paying for 911. Like, what are we doing here? We can't piggyback off of somebody? What are we doing? Of course, these phones will retail for starting at $799 for the regular and $899 for the Pro. Of course, they didn't mention storage options, so let's go and go through it. So we're going to choose the black one here, the Midnight, which is actually not really black. It's like a very, very dark navy. So like the new M1 Max or the M2 MacBook Airs. That is not black. That is a very, very, very dark blue. But of course, yeah, 128 gigabytes of storage at $799, going up to 512 at $1,099, which, it's making me think a little bit, and I'll get to that in a second, because obviously I want to see what the Pro models are going to look like when you start speccing things up, because yes, that will probably determine. Well, no, it won't, because there's something. Yeah, we'll get to that. And let's see here oh, there it was, the Plus, with Midnight. So we're looking at $899, $999 for 256, and $1199 for 512 gigs. So yeah, so that's the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. Let's see, the iPhone 14 Pro has notchless design with a dynamic island. And I'm gonna tell you something. That right there, the dynamic island, when they showed that, one, it was a leak. So, okay, let's back up a bit. If we're talking about leaks from earlier, let's back up here. So it's been a leak that the new iPhones, the iPhone 14, was going to feature a pill design, and it's been kind of going back and forth as to how big the pill was going to be. But the leaks that were coming out just before the event, like a week or two, I want to say it was like about a week before the event. They were saying that it was going to be dynamic, that there were actually going to be things that were going to show up like right here, not necessarily in the middle, but just like off to the side. So they were saying like in the software, things were going to happen with this. Now, they didn't go into details, but at least they were hinting at like, hey, there are like going to be like your camera and microphone indicators that are going to show up right here in the middle. Now, they did not necessarily show that during the event, and somebody is calling me. I feel like the only people who are calling me right now are probably my parents. And it sounds like just a hodgepodge of noise in there, because I think it's both my Mac Mini and my MacBook Pro ringing at the same time. Actually, I can probably find out who it is who's calling me, because it might be showing up here. Oh, no, it was my sister. It was my sister calling me right now. Again, why people call me at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock's cutoff. If you want me in the evening, call me for 8 o'clock. And that's even when I'm not streaming. And I say that, I only tell them that because there is a possibility I could be streaming. So yeah, like the leakers were saying that like that Notch would do other things in the software. But Apple never really showed what the leakers were talking about, but they definitely kind of came through and showed off what that island could do. Like, yo, what that pill do, and it was enough. It was enough to sell me on it. So of course, this is the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So I said it was a multi-use pill before, or at least I wrote down multi-use pill before they announced it as Dynamic Island. So what they're using the this pill or the Dynamic Island for is to show notifications on the phone. It's a new, nice, little innovative way to show notifications on the phone. So let's see. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up here. There we go. Let's see. Let's learn more. Ooh, fancy. So yeah, as you can see that, like, yeah, it's just showing those notifications. I wish it would play that video again. Can we reload it so it can show it? It was pretty fucking cool. So yeah, it pops up notification saying somebody's calling, and then puts the call information there. So you always can kind of see what the phone is doing. Like you can put music information there, timer information, stopwatch information. It will show a lot of pretty cool, unique things in that pill. But also just notifications just spring up from that pill. It doesn't like just drop down like normal notifications used to do, or how notifications used to do. It pops up from the pill. So of course you got the colors here: deep purple, gold, silver, and of course what I'm looking for, that space black. But that obviously also just it still looks like space gray, but I guess it's darker than space gray. I don't know, but yeah, we know what it is. We know the vibe. You know the vibes. Need the new face of iPhone. Great. So let's get here. As you can see, okay, come on, stop doing it. Stop doing things. Or maybe I'll just go into a loop. So you can see as you unlock, you know, it just shows all these animations up at the top. Everything is being worked on from the top. Also, if you saw from iOS 16 footage, how they're changing the lock screen, bringing some of those live event cards down at the bottom. When you unlock the phone, it will actually push some of that information up to the top. The one example they used was like sports scores, where if you were keeping track of the sports scores at the bottom of your iPhone, you unlock the phone, it'll then take that information and push it up to the top. So you will always see that information up top here in the pill. So yeah, here's coming back more into it. Like I said, sit here at rest if you're not using anything. Of course, it'll pop through. If you start having a conversation or any other information they want to show up here. And then you can see where it just kind of like springs up from the pill, takes over this top part where it's like you can barely see that there is a cutout there. Of course, they did it by making the true depth camera system 31% smaller. Re-engineered proximity sensor, advanced display algorithms, animation design to look and feel like liquid. I mean, it is very, very smooth. I really do like that, what they did here. And when they showed like just out of the off jump. So apparently, okay. All right, so this is where the leakers got it wrong. Because as you can see right here, this top right corner, there is a microphone indicator. So you can see you're using the phone, but it's still showing the microphone indicator off to the right in a little dot, which is weird. That was one thing I was hoping they would have gotten right, or the leakers would have gotten right of everything. Ruin, I'm going to hurt you so bad. It's one thing I wish they gotten right, where they did put those indicators right there at the center, right there where that camera is. But they still opted to put it off to the right. But I mean, look, you win some, you lose some, I guess, right? Of course, another thing that the leakers did get right was the always on display. Now, it was one thing I noticed during the event, and it was something I remember because I rewatched Marques Brownlee's iOS 16 overview, and he had mentioned that when he turned on his phone, when he turned on the screen to his iPhone, that the portrait photo, so like the subject, would come up before the background would. So that's a nice feature. That's a nice touch. It wasn't until I started hearing more about the always on features and then seeing that again that I realized that that is technically a kind of a, I wouldn't say a glitch, but kind of like that, hey, we're doing the always on, but we can't do the always on because the phone is not built for always on. Anything gets shown off that might impress someone who's normally underwhelmed by like yearly phone updates? No, I don't think so. Unless you like satellite connectivity and things. I don't think that, and it's a thing where I put a TikTok up earlier. But look, yes, new iPhones came out. Is there enough for like somebody to be like super duper impressed? No. But it's that thing where technology has gotten to a point where you can only do incremental updates at this point. It's not like technology is taking off like it did when iPhone launched. And, they had like significant updates leading up to it. But it's like, at a certain point, it just becomes a law of diminishing returns where the only people who I think would be impressed by this stuff are people who don't upgrade their phones as often. And honestly, I feel like those people don't give a shit either. It's where I understand there are people who they claim planned obsolescence. I still do not subscribe to that theory because again, I have an iPhone 6 that only just kind of died on me. I have an iPad mini 2 that's still kicking to this day. I think it's about to be 10 years old at this point. Like my iPhone 12 Pro is still good. I am going to, this year I am upgrading. But it's that thing where I finally got to the point where the year-to-year iPhone upgrades that I was kind of making at one point wasn't justifiable. Like, so to go back, like I went from the iPhone 7 Pro or iPhone 7 Plus to the iPhone 10. So that was a year to year. Because iPhone 10 came out the same year as iPhone 8. I went from the 10 to the 11 Pro. I skipped the 10S. Because like again, if they kept the cadence of like iPhone model S, I probably would have skipped the S versions, or if I was on the S, I would have skipped the non-S version of the next phone. But of course, like for me wanting the new phone, I probably would have been on the numbers and not the S versions. So yeah, like I skipped the 10S, went to the 11 Pro, but even then I went from the 11 Pro to the 12 Pro. So when it came for the 13 Pro, I was like, yeah, I don't see much of an upgrade. Honestly, when I went from the 11 Pro to the 12 Pro, I did not see much of a difference other than its camera system. But then realized like the 12 Pro really wasn't where it was at. The 13 was the one I should have gotten. But again, like it was still the thing of the 13 would have been the 12S Pro or 12 Pro S or something. It was an improvement on the 12, but it's a thing. The 14 though is enough. The 14 Pro is enough of a change for me to where I want to upgrade now. Now looking at the 12, the 12 to the 13 and the 13 to the 14, not so much. There's some CPU changes, there are some hardware changes, but the design of it and whatever small changes that are in the software because of like some small changes in hardware, sure, but not enough. I feel like the actual design of the 14 Pro is enough to warrant me to move from the 12 Pro to the 14 Pro. I seem to be every 3 to 5 year person. I believe I'm at 3 years now. Okay. Like for me, honestly, looking at the Samsungs, like I might be in this for a minute. I might be on the 22 Plus for a while. I don't think that, because one, like again, Samsung isn't my daily driver as much as again I love this phone. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to warrant me to move to the S23 Plus or whatever is in the S23 family. Doesn't make any sense for me. And that Pixel 6a, I don't think I'm going to upgrade that. So we'll see where we come from. But honestly, actually, I wanted to do Android 1 year, iPhone another year, Android 1 year, iPhone another. But it seems like I have now bought. I will be on track to upgrade my Android phone this year, my iPhone this year, and then buying just a second Android phone. I don't use my phone for anything that needs much power. I just need shit to run well and the battery to last long. Yeah, and for me, because I am always on the go, I am always talking to people, I'm always doing a whole bunch of shit. I have random idea. I wonder how I can do it. I want to be able to have that. I want to make sure that the hardware I have is not the limiting factor. I wouldn't. No, actually, I would not. I am okay with the 6A. I've not used the 6, but having the same tensor chip that's in the 6A, or having the same tensor chip that's in the 6 and the 6 Pro, just with slightly less RAM in it, I'm okay. Again, if I want a high performance Android device, I have my Galaxy S22 Plus here. But even if I didn't, this 6A is, to me, felt like a flagship phone when I got it. I need to put the video out, because I have a 6A review video on recorded. I just need to edit it and release it. In that video, I mentioned that when I got the 4A, I got the 4A the same time I got my 12 Pro. Use the 12 Pro long enough to just set it up, and then I'll put it off to the side because iPhone, I'm used to that. Pixel, I'm not. So I wanted to use the Pixel 4A for a week. I could instantly tell, just coming from an 11 Pro to a 4A, this is not what I feel like a flagship is. This feels like a budget phone. When I opened and started using the 6A, after just being inundated with my iPhone and my Samsung, which are at the times of their releases were the most powerful phones available. Of course, iPhone 12 Pro back in 2020 and the S22 Plus in 2022. Picking up the 6A, which is supposed to be the budget version of a 6, did not feel like a budget version of anything. It felt like a fucking flagship phone to me. I don't think Google would curse my name. Because I will sell budget phones for Google if they continue with the 6A shit. If they continue with that, I will sell them budget phones. The one thing I will cover tomorrow, though, is the fact that yes, those new updates came out for the Pixels, and the 6A did not get an update. And I'm kind of upset about that. The Pixels do feel like a flagship phone, but battery life and the constant notification for upgrades. I've not had an issue with the battery life on my Pixel 6a. I've seen, I want to say today, I saw that there were people still complaining about battery issues on Pixels. But again, it's a thing of, I've not had the fingerprint issue that people are reporting. I'm not having battery issues. Like, my Pixel's been lasting for like, it lasts all day for me. And that was even when I was testing it heavily during the week. Yeah, again, like, but see, that's the thing. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, that's something I would not knock off. Again, it's not to discount Tycho's experience, but it's a thing where, like, I have not noticed any of these issues. So Tygo, not Tygo, but Ruin, the fingerprint issue is essentially with the Pixel 6 line of phones. Apparently, I found it was an issue before the 6A, but it was brought to my attention when I was looking into the 6A. Is that you can sit there and take any fingerprint, whether it's a fingerprint you have not registered on your own hand or anybody else's finger, and it will still unlock the device. I have not been able to replicate that issue. So I don't know what's going on there. But it's enough to where like people are always talking about it. I have not been able to get that to work. The only issues I've had with in-screen fingerprint readers is just the fact that I just wasn't pushing my finger down hard enough. And that's only on this phone. And it was also before I put a screen reader on, a screen protector on it. Oh, that's Samsung's answer too. That is Samsung's answer too. Press harder. But there's also a setting in this phone. I've not checked the Pixel where you can kind of turn up the fingerprint detection in it a little bit. But again, for me, like, yes, I would prefer an external fingerprint reader. Again, I will sit here and say that the way that the iPad Air and iPad Mini handle fingerprint reading is the best way to handle a fingerprint reader, or at least put it on the back like they were on the Pixels prior to now. Oh, most definitely. I still like the only thing with Samsung is like, for me, I need that performance. I need shit to be snappy. So I will only buy an S. I will only buy an S. I will not buy an A series, because once you start putting down on like lower Snapdragons, dope, you've lost me. The Pixel 4a has kind of ruined it. It's like, no, I look, baby, if we come into the house of the major, we don't need snappy performance. That's the reason why up until the Pixel 6a, I would always say that iPhone SE is the phone you're looking for if you're looking for a small budget phone. Now I don't mind pointing people to the Pixel 6a because all right, it is a lot better deal to get that when it's got the Google Tensor chip, just a little bit less RAM, but you get more storage, you get more things with the 6a than you can with the SE. I mean, yeah. I know TouchWiz. Look, honestly, TouchWiz was shit. I will give you that. TouchWiz was shit. One UI, I don't mind as much. Like I've tried the other launchers. I was using the one I did like was Nova, but then they got bought out by the folks who were sitting there trying to do data collection and shit like that. So I went over to Lawnmower, and something about Lawnmower I didn't like either. I have not had that much of an issue with One UI. Oh, great. Of course it's locked. I've not had issues with One UI. I actually enjoy it. And again, it's amazing that Samsung got me to sit there and love stock shit on their devices. I never thought it could happen, but it did. All right, so back to the iPhone. Of course, with iOS 16, they've like I said, we're talking about always on display. So they actually finally showed that off where it kind of dims the image a little bit. It doesn't like it again. It's not like this. Or damn it, hold on. There you go. It's not like this where it just like shows you like the clock and some icons. It actually will show you so you like your background. It does similar to what the Apple Watch does when you're not looking at it. It'll show a dimmer screen, but still enough of your image or enough of the display to kind of get you some information. So it's kind of cool when you look at it. They're using some new LTPO technology for the screens to kind of do that variable refresh rate. to where they can even get things down to at least 1 frame a second. Especially like when it's on, always on, because again, you don't need things to update at 60 when you're not using it, especially with time. I mean, it shows like the hour and the minute. You definitely don't need 60 FPS to see a minute not change. Sorry, I distracted from. No, you good. Any number of custom ROMs strip the worst bits out of it. That being said, this shit running me crazy. I would like to run a custom ROM. Don't get me wrong, I would love to, but I'm not ready for that yet. I want to get back into that scene again too, but I'm not ready for that. I just got back into Android, man. I just want to enjoy what's there. And again, Samsung has come a long way since the last time I've used a Samsung device. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of One UI. I can't lie. Let's see here. Of course, showing off the myriad of customizations that you can do on the front screen or on the lock screen. Of course, emergency satellites, crash detection, and the cameras. Of course, now they have announced, and this one's kind of been in the rumor mill for a while, that the iPhone was going to get a better camera. So now there is a 48 megapixel main sensor with advanced quad pixel, which of course, if you take that, you take 48 megapixels and you hear quad pixel, you kind of like it was a connection my brain was trying to make, but around the time my brain made it, they just said it. Even though it is a 48 megapixel camera with the quad pixel sensor, you're still taking 12 megapixel camera. You're still taking 12 megapixel photos. Essentially, though, what they're saying is that with the quad pixel, you're able to get more color information, so things look a little bit more vibrant without the photo size being just way out there, banana cuckoo crazy. But of course, they're saying that, hey, if you are using sorry, I itched for a second. If you're using ProRAW, though, you actually get the entire 48 megapixels. So that way, hey, if you need to crop some things in, you can totally do that and still get all of the detail that you need when zooming in. As you see, they're putting more color, especially into their models as well. I did see a lot more black folks, a lot more people of color in their camera presentation this year than I've seen before. And yeah, tell me that they were not bothered by Google with their True Tone. If only Samsung could do that shit. They need to start borrowing Sony tech for that. We did it, Reddit. Wait, what did you and Reddit do? The S71 had a 50 megapixel camera, but it looks like shit. Damn. Okay, so I thought they said 48, but they did say 20. So they said 24. So cinematic mode now shoots in 4K HDR at 24 FPS, the film industry standard. Have your people call our people. Really? That's what we're doing here? Oh my God, this net. I hate this fucking net. Make all the companies uncomfortable so they make their cameras work better. I need. Look, I get it. That I can show up in all the photos I won't be taking. So yeah, this is actually, like this cinematic mode is something I do want to try though. With the phone. Now you can seamlessly edit with other pro footage in 4K at 24 or 30 FPS. You can even edit the depth effect after capture. Really? Okay. Also, this was announced in the regular iPhone, the regular iPhone 14. They are implementing, was it action mode or something like that? Hold on, I have it written down. Yes, action mode. So they have action mode, which is like super duper gimbal like stabilization. They're implementing it before ProRes, like before ProRes, so that way you don't have to worry about that. Before, like, that way your ProRes footage will actually just be stable before you get it to edit it. So yeah, so you got 48 megapixel for up to 4 times resolution on the main. Telephoto is still 12 megapixel, and the ultra wide is still 12 megapixel as well. Of course, now the new A16 Bionic based off 4 nanometer architect. Blah 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 blah. What is it? I wrote it down. Where'd it go? Oh, the 4 nanometer process, not architecture. I guess that would still technically work. I don't know. 29 hours of video playback on the 14 Pro Max. 23 hours on the 14 Pro. And of course, no SIM trays in this one as well. So yeah, that is the iPhone 14 Pro. And of course, so all right, I'm gonna get back to it. Yes, the iPhone 14 Pro is the phone I am probably going for over the iPhone 14. While the iPhone 14 it's still good for what I would probably use it for, it's still, like, again, I want the best that I can get. Also, it's just a pill. That pill. That dynamic island thing. I'm sorry. I was a sucker for that. I was sold on that. So of course, the iPhone 14 Pro starts at $999. Got 4 colors here. We've got deep purple, gold, silver, and space black. Let's take a look at that space black. That looks like space gray. Come on. What's going on here? What are you doing? And looks like it's still at 256 gigs. It's going to cost me about the same as it always has at $10.99. But of course, starting at $9.99, 256 at $10.99, 512 at $12.99, and 1 terabyte for $14.99. You get that Thanos purple. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. What's going on, Ali? How you doing? But yeah, $1,500 for a terabyte of storage on a phone. That is just, it's a lot. It's a lot. And of course, Pro Max starting at $10.99 at 128 gigabytes. Oops, sorry, clicked that. Didn't mean to click it. 256 at $11.99, 512 at $13.99, $15.99 for 1 terabyte of storage on the big bad daddy iPhone 14 Pro Max at 6.7 inches. And so it's also weird too that the iPhone 14, they get the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus, but on the Pro side, you get the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. And I just posted an article about how AMD is really fucking up naming conventions for things. Let's see here. Like I said, the iPhone 14 can send emergency messages over satellite. So let's get into Apple Watches. Apple Watch time. Apple announced the Apple Watch Ultra for extreme sports, or those who feel like they got so much fucking money. I was like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's get the let's get the Apple Watch Ultra. You know what I'm saying? Get that flat baby. It's so flat. Look at that. It's so flat. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. Look at that. Wow, apparently this website is doing so much, it kicked in the NVIDIA, the GeForce experience. Look at that, baby. That flat screen. Looks so flat. I wanted that so bad. Okay, my bad. I lied. The Galaxy A71 has a 64 megapixel camera that looks like shit. I can't even upload photos to Discord because the file size is too big. Ooh. AMD is starting to Intel and at the wrong time. I know, right? So yes, this is Apple Watch Ultra with the flat screen. Of course, they were saying like, look, we designed this for all the extreme people out there, all the rugged outdoor folks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what? You rode your bike. That's great. But what about those athletes, those super athletes, motherfuckers who running across the Sahara Desert, who's just backpacking through fucking woods and shit and climbing mountains and swimming to the lowest depths of the ocean? We need a watch for them. And it's like, all right, this is it. And I was like, cool, bet. I'm not any of those people. Do not ask me to do any of those things, but I do like the watch. Why can't I give you? Well, I mean, it's what happens when people get way up to the top. They just. So for those who don't know, AMD, like, they released some naming conventions. They released like new naming conventions for I think it was their mobile CPUs. And it's just like, what the fuck even? What are we doing? I mean, look, they jacking up prices because shit ain't done. That's what's gonna happen. Like that. Unfortunately, that's just capitalism. Like, I can sit there and get mad at them all I want, but again, they're just playing by the rules. Yeah, okay, you're right. The Zen shit was kind of confusing too. All right, so yes, with the Apple Watch Ultra, again, like, it's marketed towards regular users, made out of titanium. That's okay. All right. Got the flat screen. Screen is the brightest one that they've ever made. It's got an action button. I wrote that down because, man, like, that really gave me fucking Metal Gear Solid fucking vibes. So, of course, you got the same one, digital crown, your little side button over here on the side. But wait. The action button. Like, I imagine, like, this is what Campbell was telling Solid Snake when he was infiltrating Shadow Moses. Snake, you gotta hit the action button. So there you go. We've now got an action button. I've been waiting until launch to look at CPU stuff. Did we get lackluster brain benches from Zen 4? Something? I don't know. I've not seen anything. I just know that people were complaining about the names today. The only thing missing is you drawing on the screen. One day, if I can sit there has to be a way. I need to figure out a way for me to be able to John Madden this shit. Just John Madden and kind of just like draw on it. Yeah. Like, there has to be a way I can turn my fucking iPad into a Wacom tablet to use on like a display. Yeah, so they have the action button. This is International Orange. Did you know that International Orange was a thing? Like, I honestly, they mentioned this was International Orange. Apparently, International Orange is a spa? Okay, International Orange is a color used in the aerospace industry to set objects apart from their surroundings, similar to safety orange, but deeper and with a more reddish tone. Wait, what? The Golden Gate Bridge is International Orange? What? And apparently engineering uses a different color of International Orange, but okay, so the tone of the International Orange used to paint the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California is slightly lighter than the standard International Orange used by military contractors and in engineering, thus increasing its visibility to ships, but darker than the ones used in aerospace. The international orange paint used on the Golden Gate Bridge is specifically formulated to protect the bridge from the danger of rust and salt spray of the ocean and from the moisture of San Francisco fog that frequently rolls in from the Pacific Ocean through the Golden Gate to San Francisco Bay. Apparently the April 25 de Abril Bridge in Lisbon, Portugal also uses this color. Oh. All right. I'm sorry, I'm the stereotype of dude who doesn't care about the differences between colors. Look, I don't either, but like again, Apple specifically mentioned international orange. I'm like, that's an odd classification of orange, my guy. Let's go take a look. International orange just looks like the orange that they used for lip charm before they found out Lance Armstrong was a fraud. The Golden Gate Bridge does not look orange. Really? I've always thought it looked orange. Like, what do you mean this isn't orange? This looks orange to me. Maybe you look at it at just the right angle with the right light. It looks orange to me. Are we about to have a fucking was it blue and black and white and gold situation? Oh my god, y'all remember that shit. But yeah, the action button, which tends to give you like little shortcuts. So it's being used like to kind of give shortcuts to different things you could be doing with this watch, whether it's like setting lap times or diving. They give a whole bunch of examples. Not this orange. Again, this is a lighter orange, I think. I don't know. It's a thing. It's just international orange. So yeah, it says the new action button gives you quick physical control over a variety of functions. It's customizable and can do things like control a workout, mark a compass waypoint, or begin a dive. Just like you, it's full of potential. This is orange. This is orange though. This is orange. This orange. This orange. What are y'all talking about? The Golden Gate Bridge? The Golden Gate Bridges always look orange to me. Anywho, yeah. So the one thing about this watch too is like, yeah, like it uses the compass and like you can sit there and fucking set waypoints and actually use the watch to walk back on those waypoints. I was like, okay, that's kind of dope. I like that. Of course, they've got better speakers, better microphones in it, so that you can better hear people, and people can better hear you when you're in these extreme conditions. And of course, with this little ring here, it's cellular. They do not sell an offline version or a Wi-Fi only version of this watch. Yeah, not everybody needs a watch. I love watches. Again, I was down for this one. But yeah, only cellular models only. There is no Wi-Fi only version. 36 hours on a single fucking charge though. I was like, okay, bet. I hear that. That's awesome. 60 hours on low power settings, but of course that's coming soon in an update. New loops that go with it. I know there are people who are asking, do these loops work on other Apple Watches, or do other bands work on this specific watch? I'm waiting for people to debate that and an article to come out, or for me to go find one and say, hey, this works. Because I actually would love to get this Alpine loop. I really do. I like this Alpine loop. I don't know if I want it to be that bright though, so maybe not. There is no logistical reason for excluding the watch. For this one, yeah, it kind of is. This is an Apple Watch. I'm going to guess it's $450 for the low end model and $700 for the high end model. Well, we'll get to that in a second. So Tycho, the reason why they're saying that this is only a cell model is because the fact it's supposed to be for the rugged user. Like, these are for people who probably will not be in Wi-Fi. These are it's for people who are going to be out about in the wilderness where there won't be Wi-Fi. They are saying like this is not for everybody. Like like they went out of like for a lot of this, they went out of the way to try to exclude regular people. Like it's not like you saw people just milling about the street wearing an Apple Watch and getting notifications. Like no, like they were like, yo, if you out here in the mountains, like climbing Mount Everest, if you're fucking in the wood, like in the backwoods, if you are out here trying to do Naked and Afraid and they let you have an Apple Watch, this is for you. If you were fucking deep, if you were fucking Bear Grylls, this is the Apple Watch for you. Like that's how they were marketing it. Like point blank period. There was no cityscapes in anything they were talking about. Like they had the motherfucker, they had the Apple person who was talking about this in the, like the Apple people talking about this in the fucking mountains. There were no, like for a lot of these events, they happen at or around Apple's campus. There are no mountains like this in Cupertino where they were shooting the talking points for this watch. They were in mountains and raincoats and fucking mountain gear and shit. Like they were not kidding us. Like this is not for the city slicker. This is for the motherfucker who out here trying to get their ass beat by Mother Nature. Like watching this, I was excited for the watch, but then seeing the people who were using it, they made me exhausted. Like, why? Why would I do any of this? This seems crazy. Like to work from negative 20C to 55C. Yeah, you know what? Y'all have fun with that. They were sitting there saying you can use this as a fucking dive computer. But see, that's the thing. They know who they're selling to. Apple, I feel like Apple is a company who necessarily doesn't need to sell every device to everybody. They know who the fuck they're trying to sell it to, and they would rather get in those. They said, all right, look, if you the dumbass motherfucker who doesn't do any of this and still wants to spend that who still wants to buy this, by all means go ahead. But this was not for you, and we do not expect this to be the top selling product in that category. Again, like they sell the 14 Pro. I'm pretty sure the iPhone 14 will be the better selling phone than the 14 Pro. Like, I don't even know. They were like, sure, they went to Colorado. They went to fucking Hawaii, which again, why? I'm pretty sure they went to the Sahara. It looked like the Himalayas, maybe, like to confirm shit like this. You will definitely get those people, but most of the people who buy these things are city slickers. Did they make the Max this year? The Max what? But yeah, like I said, yeah, there are people who are going to fucking buy this shit who don't need it. But it's a thing where Apple does not care. They're not going to market it to people who don't need it. But again, it's a thing of like, they showed me a thing that was really cool. As if I'm not going to do it, but I would totally buy this. So yeah. That was the Apple Watch Ultra. Like the iPhone Max Pro Max. They did the iPhone 14 and iPhone 14 Plus, which is their phones, and the iPhone 14 Pro and the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So again, yes, they are definitely making fucking phablets. And no, none of them have USB-C. I know there are people who should hold out for USB-C. Again, I'm here to tell you that you will probably never see USB-C in an iPhone. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to happen. There are people who are waiting for a USB-C iPhone. I do not think that there is going to be a USB-C iPhone. I think they will go completely wireless before they give you USB-C. Again, ask every year you want, but like nobody's predicting that shit now because they almost everybody knows like They're gonna go portless before before that happens. They're gonna go portless before that happens. Especially because the EU said then put that limit on. Apple's like, yeah, no, fuck that. Fuck that. I mean, because again, look at MagSafe, look at what they're trying to do with iCloud and all the services, and they like trying to get shit pushed off into the cloud. They are working, like they were working to make sure that they can go portless. And I think that's the reason why they have stuck with Lightning for so long on those devices. Again, USB-C really is on these devices to make sure data so this, I think it's Lightning 4. It's either Lightning 3 or Lightning 4 on this iPad Pro. And it's for data transfer. Lightning is slow as shit for data transfer. They don't want you transferring shit between your iPhone and a computer. They'd rather you operate independently of it. But they know for pro devices, they know for like iPads, there are times where yes, you will need to transfer shit back and forth. You will need those fast transfer speeds, like get things off of cameras to put on your iPad. And that's, I think, like the iPad Mini and the iPad Air, they just have USB-C, whereas this is using Thunderbolt. And like I'm pretty sure the USB speeds on the iPad Air and the iPad Mini are not that great compared to the speed on the Pro. If they do go portless, I'll say, yep, no USB-C. Yep, I was just typing that, and then everyone else will follow them. Of course it will. You'll get over the air charging before USB-C. Yeah, and there are companies who are definitely working on that. Does wireless charging not suck yet? It depends on the manufacturer. Depends on where you're getting your wireless charging from. Apple's tends to still be really slow compared to anything you can get on Android. I'm gonna hate this new era when they eventually do that shit. There's still some phones out there though that even in 2022 do not do wireless charging. The Pixel 6a is one of them. I was really bummed about that. That's the one thing I do not like about that Pixel 6a. Is it does not do wireless charging, but I mean, it's plastic. It's one place where they sacrificed to get the cost down. Oh yeah, 15 watts is not fast, like regardless. All right, so it's time for Ruin's favorite part, or at least the part he wants to see. How much does the Apple Watch Ultra cost? So let's put it in order for one, shall we? The Apple Watch Ultra retails for $799. When they showed that price, I was like, you know what? The Apple Watch Ultra is not for me. And this is why I was arguing with Tycho. Look, they will sell it. They will sell you this. But not everybody needs this. Because I'm like, I would buy one, but I don't need it. And my wallet looked at me and was like, fuck you, motherfucker, if you think that's going to happen for you today. I mean, would I say that off the rocker? Not really. Like, all right, let's just take a look here, right? So let's see. I'm gonna look up a Dive computer. What the fuck? A Dive computer watch. So let's just see, like, because I feel like, yeah, you're using Dive computers, and that was a thing that was mentioned a lot. Like, I want to, let's see here. All right, so the base Dive computer, best entry level, the Cressy Donatello, right? That's $289 already, and that's all it does. LG Watch Urbane prices in this motherfucker. I have no reference point for this. Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. I can't jump to conclusions when looking at like $800. Like, that's a lot. Like, no, because let's look at one aspect of this, right? A Dive computer. The Apple Watch is being rated. The Apple Watch Ultra is being rated as a Dive computer. A motherfucker who sells actual hardware and software for dive computers. Like, yeah, you can use this as a dive computer. This is the entry-level dive computer for $289 just for itself. So let's round it up, $300. So you knock that off. All right, so now you have a $100 Apple Watch. If you took out the dive computer aspect of it. Yeah, I mean, kind of, yeah. But also keep in mind too, like it's still a little bit more rugged. There's a lot more there is technically still more in that watch than there is in the Apple Watch Series 8, which I imagine we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, like just alone, a basic dive computer will cost you about $300. And it looks like that. And I'm gonna let you know something too. I went on a limb. I had no idea it was gonna cost that much. This is the first time I did this shit. But yeah, I mean, it's always good to kind of have that frame of reference for things. Like just like take one aspect of it, separate it out, see what that costs. And then what smartwatch can we use for a comparison without the dive computer? Let's see here. Let's go back here. Let's look at rugged smartwatches. Rugged smartwatch. Garmin Fenix, Amazfit T-Rex Pro. Yeah, I don't know. What fucking website is that? What? Maybe Task and Purpose? I don't know. But it's like, yeah, who reviews these? Even then, I still don't really trust this, but oh, apparently the Samsung Electronics Galaxy Watch 3 meets military spec. Okay, so all right, we're gonna look at the LG Watch Urbane. Wait, but that's an old fucking watch though, right? Do they still make this? Oh, it's discontinued. Yeah, I wouldn't even put this out there. Yeah, I would not subject this watch to whatever they were subjecting the Apple Watch Ultra to. I would say like, yeah, that's a pricey watch. It was a pricey watch when it was a thing, but okay, wait, Verizon does. This is the second edition. That's also discontinued. All right, let's see. Samsung. All right, well, here's the active. Let's go. Let's see what the active Galaxy Watch active. I still think they're showing me. Yeah, they're showing me the old one. So let's see, 2. I was hoping if I put active, they would have given me the more up to date one. So it doesn't even seem like they sell this one anymore either. But yeah, like, I don't think you're going to find many rugged watches that look as good as what Apple is putting out there. It's just, again, it's not to say that there aren't any, but it's a thing of like, cool, I've got this amazing I got this amazing piece. It looks nice. It kind of fits in. Everybody knows what Apple Watch looks like. But boy, when I really need to get into the thick of it, it will stand that test as well. Yeah, I wasn't talking about prices. I was talking about like the ruggedness to kind of justify the price. And yeah, like there are no smartwatches that are, I feel like, that are rugged that would look as good as the Apple Watch or any expensive watches that will be able to take a beating like the Ultra can. So yeah, again, like $800, I feel like it's for what it's doing. Yes, I feel like that price is justified. I feel like there are people who will still buy one of these, even though they're not doing any of the shit that this watch can do. But that does not stop people from buying things, period. All right, let's see. Garmin smartwatch. Let's see. All wearables. All right, so here's the rugged one. Let's do this. Let's open up these two here. So we got the Instinct here. Let's go. Yeah, let's just go with the basic one here. And here's the Phoenix. Wait, was there a rugged Phoenix? No, it doesn't look like there was many of a rugged one. So yeah, all right. So let's see. Yeah, let's look at the Phoenix, right? So here's Garmin's just rugged. Like this is it. This is the rugged one. This is the one you want for the outdoors. So again, it's black and white. It's still a smart watch. Looks like it's e-ink. Maybe like an e-ink display. So more like a Pebble from back in the day. But again, it does not look like an iWatch. And then we've got the Phoenix, which has that full color display. But even then, still $700 for their top of the line rugged watch. Tycho, we've had this conversation before. I understand, but you're not going to get everything open source. And that's not the conversation we're having right now. We're just talking about it. And this is the broadest context possible. I understand. All right, we combine an Instinct with we combine an Instinct with an Apple computer and Apple Text interface. But why would we say the Instinct though? I wouldn't even say the Instinct. I would actually sit there and use the Phoenix instead. Because at least with the Phoenix, you still have the color display. It still is a smartwatch. Like it's more of a smartwatch than I feel like the Instinct. I'll admit this kind of has me excited. This is 100% replicable. Yeah, the Phoenix is rugged. This is like their rugged. Okay, so all right, now hear me out. So now we're going to look at stretch battery life to the limit, go up to 11 days between charges and smartwatch mode. The world of choices, explore navigation sensors will help you find your way back. No matter where you go, text message and alerts will always be able to find you. So I guess there is a there's a cellular feature built into these. So I don't know, like the Garmin looks okay, but what's the software stack? That's a good question because it's probably not Android. Okay, yeah, this fucking gnat is annoying. Report a ski map error. That's an interesting thing to see on a website. Connect IQ. So let's see here. Let's. Oh wait! Oh, here we go. Maybe this is something you're interested in, Tigle. There is definitely a GitHub repository from Garmin. You can develop apps. They open source some shit for you to go through. If you want to develop apps for the Garmin watch. Monkey See? Wait, what? Where did you see Monkey See? What the fuck? Oh shit. Monkey Barrel code libraries. Wow, what the fuck, bro? Oh my goodness. So I mean, look, we can sit here and lambast Apple overselling an $800 watch, right? But it's not like rugged smartwatches were cheap to begin with. I still think that for $800, you could possibly do better. But again, if you're looking for that Apple flip, I feel like they're not over inflating the price of this watch given what's already out there. Code monkeys, maybe? I don't know. Code monkey like Fritos. Code monkey like Tab and Mountain Dew. Code monkey, very simple man. With warm, fuzzy secret heart. Code monkey like you. Someone already managed to review the watch, going off what we know. Well, there are some people who are in Cupertino. Or were in Cupertino. There were people who were on site to watch a video of the event, to watch the same thing we watch, but then after that, they got to get hands-on with the product. So yeah, I would not be surprised seeing him KBHD video. Your average consumer, Justine, was that Mr. Mobile or something like that? Maybe Mr. Who's the Boss is there. So yeah, there are people who are there at the event who got hands on with some of this stuff. Of course, pre-orders for, I think, the Apple Watch are live now. They're live now and they'll be available on September 23rd. Also for the phones, pre-orders for the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, they begin on September 9th. The iPhone 14 will be shipping out on the 16th, so a week later, like they normally do. But the 14 Plus will not be shipping out until October 7th. And for the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, I believe those pre-orders will also be opening up on the 9th, and both phones will be shipping out on the 16th. No, this guy, I mean, look, these are questions. These are questions I have. And it's a thing where it's like, there are certain Apple products that are very, very expensive. Especially when you can get comparable hardware for less, but it's still that thing of too, like, there are some things that Apple does do that nobody else does. And if you want to constitute that as Apple tax, then it's fine, but it's always good to see comparisons out there. And again, like I will sit there and be honest with you and say, hey, iPhone SE versus Pixel 6a, definitely get the 6a because you get more out of it, even if like, oh, it's an Apple phone. Like I'll be honest with you, but yeah, like for $800 and seeing what you can get in that rugged smartwatch category, yeah, I would say that Apple did not price that too. They did not price that too much out of the way. And no one of note will get it before November. Wait, get what before November? Apple was notorious for their terrible launches. I have stories about working at Sprint and Radio Shack selling iPhones. I've always got my phones at launch. I've always got my and actually it was through Verizon. Through Verizon, I've always got my phones at launch when I pre-ordered. The only issue I've had with ordering an Apple product that I pre-ordered, I think was my MacBook Pro. Oh no, that wasn't a pre-order. That wasn't a pre-order. I just bought it and it shipped a day later than I was expecting it. Verizon used to make you pay them bad boys off before they got to the store. They must have been what they used to do, but now, yeah, especially now that everybody switched over to, split. Like again, there's no contracts, but you now have to pay off a device over 2 to 3 years, which I think I will now be switching from a 2-year to a 3-year cycle, which will definitely affect my phone choices in a couple of years. Yeah, like you're now just paying the phone off as opposed to the contract. So yeah, at least the phones, but at least I'm on track now to own my iPhone 12 Pro. So there's that. Of course, now we got the regular Apple Watch Series 8. Oh yeah, contracts have not been a thing for a while. Not much is new about this one. I think I'm at a position where I might be at a position to upgrade my Apple Watch. I'm not entirely sure yet. Like I still have an Apple Watch Series 5, and there's like outside of a bigger screen, there's really not much I want to upgrade with the Series 8. The big thing about this one, and it also when they talk about Apple Watch, they bring in like the new stuff with Apple Health. And it seems like a very weird time to be talking about it, but they're adding more fertility stuff into Apple Health and using temperature sensors with the Apple Watch to kind of help you determine when you're ovulating, which is something I really hope that Apple has this shit on lock when they say that your personal data is locked to you, because there are definitely a whole bunch of pervy ass white motherfuckers who want to know when it's off. Also, like with the iPhones, they mentioned it first here before they mentioned it in iPhones, but of course I'm going by the Verge's article, so it's they also introduced the crash detection stuff. That's kind of one of the reasons why I would like the new Apple Watch. But if I'm getting the new phone, I feel like it doesn't matter at that point, because the Verge is a good source. It's just that they did not do it in order of the event. I guess they ranked it off of what people really wanted to know about, or what they felt was interesting. The iPhones came first, and now I'm in the Apple Watches, where the Apple Watches were the first thing they talked about. iPhones were at the end. But yeah, with the crash detection stuff in the new Apple Watches, if I'm planning on getting a new phone, I really don't need that. So I might still be waiting on the next Apple Watch. Honestly, it's been rumored that they were trying to do glucose stuff. And I think that's kind of the one, like, if they get that to work, if they can launch the glucose measuring without the prick, I would be on that so fast. Even if it may not be accurate, if I can get just an approximation of what my blood sugars look like without having to fucking stick myself to check, or have to stick the fucking Freestyle Libre on me, which again is still a fucking needle that lives in me for 2 weeks, I will take it. I will take that shit. But yeah, no, so there's really nothing else there except for just like a bigger screen. It's almost like at this point, it's like, okay, you know what? I will be okay with switching Apple Watch if I like destroy the watch that I'm currently wearing, but I doubt that's happening. And no, I will not do it on purpose. I know that's what you think of ruin. The Apple Watch SE is back. They are taking out the Apple Watch 3, replacing it with the SE. And I want to say these are based on the Series 4 and 5 design. So I guess now I'm in Apple Watch SE territory, except my watch looks like an SE, but performs worse than an SE. I would almost move to the SE, because I mean, I would almost do it. Let's see. The Apple Watch Series 8 starts at $400, right? The SE started at $250. If only I cared about the internals that much, right? Because it's like, okay, I could see upgrading to an SE. Like, it would still look the same as my Apple Watch, but it would have better internals. Like, okay, that's not what. No, if I'm going to upgrade, I want everything to be different, not just the internals and the outside look the same. That's just boring. But of course, if you are looking for the cheap, if you're looking for the inexpensive bargain option of Apple Watch, the SE is there, and it's actually going for $250 as opposed to $299. And of course, the second generation AirPods Pro are here with better noise cancellation. I'm gonna say this: if you got AirPods Pro already, this is a skip. This is honestly a skip for me. It looks the same. There's better internals in it, especially when it comes to finding them. Now you can kind of ring them independently to find them. The case itself has speakers where if you're looking for the case, or if you want to know if you're charging it or if it's running out of battery, it will now chirp at you to let you know. It now implements MagSafe, or you can even use your Apple Watch charger to charge it. And yeah, of course, better noise cancellation. But honestly, for me, I'm okay with the AirPods Pro they have now. Like, they do what I need them to do, and it does not warrant me to upgrade to the new AirPods Pro. The one thing that had me excited, to where somebody else was, even if my wife asked me what I wanted, and I would not tell it for Christmas, I would not tell her AirPods. I would not. But the one thing that they added to these that mine do not have, that I want, is volume control. So let's see, I've got my AirPods right here. So I'm pulling out. And this is going to be really, really hard to do. I'm going to make me big. Make me big. All right, there we go. So of course you take a look here. I'm not sure if, yeah. All right. So yeah, this little divot right here, that's where you kind of squeeze to get it to stop and start, answer phone calls, hang up phone calls. Apparently now they've added in that little divot the ability, when you slide up or down, it will actually change the volume. And I'm like, okay. That was my number one complaint with truly wireless earbuds, is that they do not make them big enough to really do volume control. You would always, like, I could use my watch or I'd use my phone. And especially with my Android devices, I'd have to, with the Galaxy Buds, or the A series Pixel Buds, there's no volume control on them. I always would have to use the phone to turn them up and down. So the fact that there are now some truly wireless I just heard a noise coming out of that room, which is weird because nobody's in there, and it sounded like it was my Android phone, but that's right here. Not sure what that noise was, and I'm afraid to go in there and find out now. And I'm pretty sure there are like truly wireless earbuds that do have volume control. But yeah, it was good to see. Oh, great, the AirPods. Get out of here, Nat. The AirPods. Grab the GPU as a weapon, but it's in the PC though. It's good to see that the AirPods Pro do have volume control on the little stock nubbin thing. The $250 buds, I'd need some significant sound improvements to care. So they said they made some sound improvements, but again, it's that thing of like, I am not much of an audiophile. My headphones work. My AirPods sound amazing. My Samsung, my Surface headphones 2 sound amazing. My Galaxy Buds sound amazing. The ones I do not like are the Pixel Buds. I was using them for my flight to and from Sacramento. Excuse me. Those fucking hurt. Hated those. But of all the headphones I have, like they sound great already. So I'm like not in the market for new audio devices right now. Grab the PC as a weapon. Sony has the best ANC in the business. I wish they didn't. And I guess like for me, that would matter more if I was going to places where I needed ANC. I would say like a plane was one of those places. And yes, I understood the whole assignment when I had the A series buds, which do not have active noise cancellation. It fucking sucked. That flight fucking sucked. Sucked ass. So yeah, I will never travel with the Pixel Buds again. Like it will either be my Samsung Buds or my AirPods. Someone actually gave me some free buds unopened, of course. Was a Jabra Elite 7 Pro. They work well. Up until May, I was working in a factory. I needed ANC back. Yeah. Oh yeah. I just, like even like when I am out in public, I would rather have it. Or when I'm in the office, yeah, I would rather use my ANC. But yeah, now that I work from home, like it's not even an issue. It is not an issue anymore. But yeah, like now that I'm flying, yeah, it's a thing where ANC is a thing I would want again. But yeah, I know which earbuds I am not using ever again when flying. Like it might be a thing where I'm not using that much. I might still clean off those Pixel Buds and may give them away. I do not want them. Just the worst. Of course, there's better battery life with the AirPods. 6 hours of listening time per charge, and of course, you get 5 charges with the case, so you're looking at 30 hours. Full charge. I mean, like 30 hours of charge without having to plug in the whole thing into like on a charger. And software news: iOS 16 and watchOS 9 are coming on September 12th. As I believe I mentioned before on Tech Talk Thursdays, the iPad OS and Mac OS are being delayed until October. Also want to say that I think TV OS is also coming out September 12th, which does not do me any good for things that I may have planned this weekend. It might be a thing where I might sit there and go down to my son's room, update or put his Apple TV on the iOS 16 beta just so I can pair a Switch controller to it. But yeah, that also depends on whether or not we're getting a Switch controller for his birthday. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I covered most things. Yeah, that looks about it. Not happy with the color options of the Apple Watch. So yeah, maybe that's another reason why I may skip it, because they do not have any like black options. Like they are selling the midnight, but Just like the MacBook Air, the Midnight really comes off as a very, 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 very dark navy blue. So of course, and those who may have come in late, you may have missed it, but yeah, of all the stuff that has been announced today, I am looking to make a purchase. I will probably be making the, it is absolutely very dark blue. Yeah. Like, because I want to say I don't think you were here for the for the iPhone, right? So I'm gonna pull this back up. We're gonna buy the Apple 14. We're gonna take the iPhone 14. Yeah, so midnight, right? Like, look at that. Like at first glance, you see that and you think that, okay, that's black. That's not black. That is not black. That is a very, 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 very dark navy blue. It is really upsetting, especially when you're looking for something black. But it's like, hey, one of the reasons why I'm not going for the 14, I'm going for that 14 Pro, where I get space black, even though it is really just space gray. Like, yeah, that space black is really just space gray. Like, honestly, come on. Apple, who are you fooling? Who are you fooling with that? Look at that. Just look at this. It's the same fucking color. It's the same fucking color. Now, like, it's kind of hard to do that because like I'm getting like literally everything reflected back into it. So. But yeah, it's fuck it. It's the same fucking color. Like, come on, what are we doing here? What are we doing? What are we doing? Anywho, that's it. That's all I got. Right? Look, it's already running iOS 16. Oh no. Oh, don't worry, that's a software notch. I had to hide it. I had to keep it secret so people wouldn't ask me about the new iPhone. Say it looks like an old iPhone, but no, it's the new one. It's the software notch. When I get that new iOS 16, it's gonna get rid of it. Nah, but really, I actually did install the release candidate for iOS 16 on here today. But yeah, so updates coming out. So iOS, tvOS, or iOS and watchOS 9, or iOS and watchOS are coming out September 12th. I want to say tvOS is as well. Nobody seemed to talk about that, even though a release client for tvOS did release today as well, which is really making me think that it will be releasing on the 12th. So look at that. Okay. You know what? While the back may be that space gray look, I think it's the rim. It's the outer steel part that may be darker, because on mine, it is like very, very, very shiny. Let's see. Oh wow, so you cannot buy an iPhone 13 on or their shop iPhone. You can't buy an iPhone 13 Pro on here. They took off the iPhone 13 Pro. So I can't even compare what the iPhone 13 Pro or even the iPhone 12 Pro looked compared to the iPhone 14 Pro. Damn. Sucks to be me though. Oh, like they took the story out earlier today, like before the event, and as soon as the event was over, the store was back. Like, yeah, it wasn't so much quick as much as it was like, yeah, they were just gonna do that. I mean, but it's also, I feel like it's also good because then there's not any confusion. Fuck. Actually, almost forgot here. Let's actually go back here, because it's something I forgot to mention. Wait a second. Why is there a bigger iPhone 13? What is that? Oh, it's the mini. It's the mini. So just before I go in, because there's something I noticed when we're going through here, looking for something else that I think I noted but forgot to mention. If you are looking for the very, very small phone, they will still sell you an iPhone 13 mini. They still have the iPhone SE, which is still the budget one. But the fact is that they will still, the iPhone 12 is still being sold. You can still buy an iPhone 12. So I get, all right, well, actually, no. Let's back up, put it on perspective. You can get an iPhone SE, which is the iPhone 8 with, I want to say 12 or 13 specs. I can't remember. I want to say it's the 13 specs. You can get an iPhone 12 with 6.1 inches for $599. Or if you were looking for the small phone, you can get the smaller one at 5.4 inches for the same price. So it's either smaller and faster or cheap and big. I don't think so. Because you would still think that there is plenty of iPhone 13, 13 Pros still in circulation, right? Or, well, yeah, I mean, there's still 13s. They're still willing to sell you a 13. But I still feel like there's still more 13 Pros in circulation that they could sell off. Because, like, sometimes Apple is good about not making more phones before one launches. Sometimes they're not. There are sometimes when you hear like, oh, supplies of a certain device are shrinking. They're normally not too long after that there is a refresh. So I don't think there's like, I think that they're keeping these open as like the more budget options. Let's see, this one uses A15 Bionic. So yeah, it's the same thing that's in the iPhone 13. Which also might not, like, I know people mentioned like, yeah, the iPhone 14 did not get a CPU update, or didn't get a silicon update like the iPhone 14 Pro did. So you're looking at 3 phones that all use the same fucking SoC. And then 14. So there you go. That's everything Apple, iPhone. Man, it would be nice if I was a Sony fan or a Nintendo fan. We can cover that shit too one day. But no. At this point, silicon upgrades or diminishing returns. It's all about feature add to software. But again, something's got to power it. You know what I'm saying? Something's got to power it. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Like if you optimize the software, and that's fine for me. If you can optimize that software, then we're good. But of course, I mean, and that's how like you're able to get more iPhones on an iOS version, because you're optimizing software to still work with a myriad of SoCs. They said about Snapdragon was like 4 years ago. But see, Snapdragon is just still bad. Like after being on Apple Silicon for a while, like I've been using iPhone since the 7 Pro or 7 Plus. After being on Apple Silicon for a while, and then kind of going back and using Tensor. And again, I don't know what Tensor looks like down the road. For all I know, it will slow down just like Snapdragon would. But having been on Apple Silicon for so long, yeah, I'm just not a big fan of Snapdragon. And so I would like to see, I really want Tensor to succeed. I really do. Well, I asked this like right when I came in. It's like, anything interesting, bigger and more efficient batteries? The answer was basically no. But yeah, nothing. Yeah, I mean, again, it's that thing of like, there's just a lot of iterative updates. And again, as technology progresses, we're at a point where most things are being done through software. Everything's being offloaded to the cloud. But yeah, like we're not getting those big gains that we were before when the iPhone originally came out, when Android devices showed up on the scene. Like, it was a big leap between Windows Mobile and BlackBerry to iPhone. And sure, we look at iPhone to iPhone 14, it's like, yeah, big leaps have happened. But if you go from device to device to device, those leaps kept getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Tensor will succeed. Google will make it succeed. I really hope so. It's the future not only for their phones, but their platform. Fuchsia is continuing development. Yeah, Fuchsia's rolling out too. I do want to get one of those Nest hubs so I can at least have a Fuchsia device in the house. Maybe if Truist would stop charging overcharge, stop getting fucking overdrafting and shit. I hate banks. I really do. Trying to pay bills, man. Come on. Like, honestly, I can see if I was being wild out here, but no, the account that got overdrafted was the one that I was using to pay bills with, and I overcommitted to my bills. I was like, yeah, now you're gonna hurt motherfuckers. Ah, damn it. Why? Not today. And on payday too. That's what really hurt. It was payday today when I found that out. So yeah, this is the iPhone stuff. The Apple September event stuff. Hopefully, I'm get this out on YouTube a little quicker than I did the last video I put out, which is this week in Game Pass. If you have not checked that out, I do ask that you do so. I kind of cover what that show is going to be doing. I wish I thought I had a button for that. I do not. Also, I probably did, but this is just I'm looking at buttons that are restored from a previous update. So, excuse me. So I put out a new video kind of explaining what the new series is, where I'm going through the Game Pass app on my Xbox Series X, looking at some of the quests that they have, because they do that to kind of have you try different games that you probably would not have played before. Also kind of going through some Game Pass news that may come through, of course, with it being the beginning of the month. Xbox had put out the new schedule for September, or at least the first half of September, so up until September 15th. So there may not be news unless it's surprise announcements of games being added to Game Pass in between the 2 weeks. But I know that probably by September 15th or whenever it won't be the 15th. It may, math is hard. But halfway through the month, there will probably be another update with the latter half of the month's updates. So yeah, definitely check out that youtube.com/MajorLinux. There is a playlist that has been created for those videos as well. This one will be put on the Major Show or the Major Linux Show archive list. So definitely check this out here. Check this out over there. Show your friends. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, anything you would like that, anything you would like answered. If I don't have the answer, I'll find it for you. Find somebody who knows, and try to get those answers to you. With all that being said, thank you all for tuning into this recap video or this recap stream so that we don't have to do it on Thursday. I'm pretty sure Sin and Kev appreciate the fact that that's what I'm doing. Plenty to talk about tomorrow. Yeah, plenty to talk about tomorrow. So that's why I'm getting it out of the way now. Also, yeah, would have loved to have done a live stream or a live reaction to this, but yeah, last time I tried that, I got a copyright strike on Twitch, so I'm not doing that. Also, I had meetings today, so I had to step away for a second, take a meeting while also listening to the event, and to where after the call, luckily the call lasted like 10 minutes, took the headphones off, came right back in here to watch it and finish taking notes. So yeah, that's it for me. See you all tomorrow for another episode of Tech Talk Thursday with Sin, with Kev, and with your boy, Marcus Summers, Major Linux. Thank you all for tuning in. Of course, you all could have been anywhere in the world watching any stream in the world. You could have been pre-ordering iPhones, but you can't because you can't until the 9th. And you'll be in line with me. But I'm glad you stopped through here to figure out what was even talked about. Have some discourse. Let's talk. Let's have these discussions. Let's explore. And for that, I appreciate it. Thank you all so much. And of course, all I've got left to say to you wonderful people is I love you. And please, how? Y'all still here? Anywho, thank you so much for tuning in to another video. Really do appreciate it. Of course, if you like the content that you just saw, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that the YouTubers ask you to do. I guess that includes me now. Anywho, yes, like, comment, subscribe. Really do appreciate it. Support the channel over Patreon, PayPal, whatever. Check out the links in the video to anything else I might be pushing, hawking. I don't know. Did I sell out by now? I recorded this ages ago. Have I sold out? Let me know. But until then, I'll see y'all next time. Peace out.